He cares for us.
Okay. So can you tell us your first encounter with your husband?
My first encounter, when he called, he said, God said you are my wife. That's the most unromantic statement I've ever heard in my life. But I forgive him anyway. So, and he was also vibrating on the phone. I saw a different side of him. I used to think he's hard, harsh, he was, forgive me if I use this word, a control freak. No. I don't want to have anything to do. Like, he wants it this way. Fix it this way, he always wanted everything perfect, clean. And I didn't think I was going to stress myself in that. But anyways, this is the will of God, let's do it. So when he called me and told me that God revealed you to me and told me this, that, it was a confirmation to the same thing that God told me. And God told him things about me. That's one thing about the will of God. The will of God is not just, you are my wife, so we'll now rush you. There must be evidence. The other person's spirit must bear witness with your own spirit, that is the Holy Spirit that told you. So if there's no place for confusion. If that other person says, how can you say God said you are my husband? It's a lie. Don't believe it. Two things are there. It's either you've not heard very well from the Holy Spirit, or that person has refused to yield to the Holy Spirit. That's it. That's the simple thing. That's the simple thing. So when he told me, he was shaking over the phone, and I laughed because I had now begun to, it was an unveiling process. I began to see some things, some qualities that I never knew he had. So within a month we were married.
Within a month?
Within a month. We've actually known each other for a while before the Holy Spirit now led him. I had known for about 3 months before he called me to tell me, look at the revelations I've been having. I didn't know how to tell you. Can you pray about it? I said, yes, I'm good. I'm hearing you. I said, the Holy Spirit showed me something about you. He said you are my wife. He said, pray about it. So when he was talking, I saw that this conversation will not end. I said, hello sir, can you hear me? He said, yes. I said, the Holy Spirit has actually revealed this to me before you called, and I've seen it. The confirmation there were key things God told me about my destiny. He called me to tell me, see what God said. It was exactly the same thing, the same promise. I knew, yes, I was headed the right direction. So when we started the marriage process, it wasn't funny. We faced severe challenges that one day my mom told me, said, look, this man can't marry you. It's over. Just tell him no. Tell the pastor, no, it won't work. So we faced challenges. There were shakings, and I would come back to see God. He said, this man is my husband, fix it. Because if he doesn't work, in me favor, you get, favors me. So, but when God says yes, you can say no. It was quite turbulent getting married. The first year was really tough because getting to know him, there's a challenge that I need to address here for those who seek God. I think Christians need to begin to add strategy and a little bit of sense to it. When God tells you to do a thing, you need to look at who the person he sent you to, the environment, and ask God to give you a strategy to pass that message.
Okay.
Because God might be speaking to you because of who you are, but you're not the same with that person he's sending you to. So you also need to get proper information on how to deliver that message to the person. So following the will of God is good. I'm still enjoying it.
Okay. How are you able to cope? How are you able to navigate your feelings? How was it?
I love that area you mentioned feelings, because I didn't have any feeling for him. I didn't love him. I was doing it like, when God tells you go and you are going sheepishly, not because you want to go there, but because you love the person that told you to go there. So you just have to. So when I came in, oh God, the both of us came in to do the will of God.
Oh, okay.
I was not his spec. Oh my God.
Okay.
Now I see guys who tell me, woman of God, you look so beautiful. Oh, sometimes when they say, please, can we meet? Can we talk? I want you to pray with me concerning something. And I see my husband going all jealous and everything. So, but if they had met me where I was, where he met me, they wouldn't even greet me on the road, because I was in a very rough state. I was in the place where I had forgotten about myself. I didn't know anything about myself anymore. I was just tired. But you know how you're tired, but you can't help but love God.
Yeah.
How you're tired, but you just go to church, but and prophecies were coming. I'm sending great. Oh God, there's a great evangelist. You're going to get married to a great evangelist. My brother, I wasn't in. I didn't even want to marry a pastor. I had the kind of life I wanted to marry. Someone who is exposed academically, who is, who lives a private life. I wanted that quiet life. But all the prophecies were talking about the world is going to see. How will I hide if the world is going to see me?
Yeah.
So, but these prophecies were coming in my wilderness journey. In that place where if you had met me, he wouldn't even answer my greetings. He would just pass like, who is this one? But God said, see the future I've mapped out for you. Look at where I'm taking you to. You cannot get there if you don't go through this route. That doesn't mean the will of God cannot be changed. Because when you get a revelation, like he shared with me his experience, how God told him, this lady is your wife, and he went to meet the lady. Guess what? The lady told him, if you talk to me again, I will make sure I get you arrested.
Wow.
So that was how bad. So he came back home crying. He said, God, I know I heard you. What kind of embarrassment is this? I am done. He said he dropped his Bible. He said he's not going to church. He's not going to have anything to do with God. And God came to him and said, my son, it can only get better. So if a man or a woman has a revelation about a particular person that is God's will for her life, and it doesn't work out, doesn't mean God's will is broken.
Oh, really?
In fact, it has been enhanced for greater. God has actually formed in fact, has made it more beautiful. He has made it more beautiful. So when God tells you, this is your will, this is my will for your life, you made the move. He saw your heart. He saw your obedience. But this other person refused to yield. There is always a way. He takes you to even a wider way. Now what happens is, those other people that he told this, that, they now see him succeed in marriage. And now they are like overwhelmed. In fact, one thing I would love to tell the audience is, when God tells you to do something, don't look down on it. Don't look down on it. Because the serpent asked Eve, did God tell you not to eat of this fruit? She first inquired. The serpent cunningly got information from Eve and used that information to destroy her. So what the devil is going to use is already the information God has given you. All you need to do is hold fast to it. Run after it. When God told me about my man, I went into it. without feelings, without love. I don't know if we're going to be going into that, but sexually it was horrible because I was like, God said we should get married, so let us be heading because I'm going to be catering coma, so I'm going to be there. That was just where I was looking at. Every other thing, there was a time he looked at me, he said, come, you are Eve. You are Eve. You are the Eve in my life. You are the Eve in my life. I said, so I'm now the Eve in your life. Oh God, you've not seen anything. So we had that phase, and it came to a point where I was gotten to this place where I was like, okay, I think I didn't hear well. No, I didn't hear this thing well. I went to the Holy Spirit. I said, God, we're done. I want to go. I want to go back home. Because that place has never been home to me. And the Holy Spirit said, you are praying for me to work on him. You pray that I work on you first. You submit to my will. Now ask me, when was the last time you told him I love you? Honestly speaking, I was shocked because I have never told him. And this was like 7 months after our marriage. So I started by telling him, the day I told him I love you, he turned back. What did you say? I said I love you. He was shocked. And I saw that he has been waiting for it. There were some things that, were lacking and was causing the marriage to suffer. It wasn't suffering because it was the will of God. It wasn't suffering because, because of disobedience. It was suffering because of ignorance. So the will of God is not just getting into it. You must be ready to process it with God. You must be ready to, as God told you as your wife, it doesn't end there. There are things that when I do, he will report to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will come and meet me. Why did you do that? I can't tell him sorry. No, I can't tell him sorry. He told me this. The Holy Spirit begins to teach me submission. The same with him. There are things that he will tell me and I'll be quiet. He doesn't even know it offended me. The Holy Spirit will go and tell him, tell her sorry. So it's until we die. Because even after we had our first son and now the second, we are now like, Holy Spirit, how do we best interpret godly marriage to our children?
Wow.
So it's another process. You now learn not to shout when you're angry because you don't want your children to feel that's how marriage should be.
Okay.
The Holy Spirit is in charge. And when you offend your spouse in front of your children, you would also apologize to him in front of your children.
Wow. Okay.
These are things that God has been teaching us and has been helping us now. We can't do without each other.
Wow.
No, we can't do without each other. It's not just romantically, destiny-wise. You get to see that you can't run life without this person. The will of God is superb.
What should the single ladies out there, what should they be looking for in a husband from a Christian perspective? What should they be looking for in a husband? Like this question now is for the single ladies out there, for the single ladies watching us. What should they be looking for in a spouse?
The will of God.
The will of God.
That's just it. Because I was looking forward to a guy who was dark complexion. I love dark guys with open teeth, pure white. When they talk, their eyes dim, tall, cute, good looking, able bodied. That was all I was looking for. But when I got into marriage, I saw that those things were so vain. But when someone offends you like this, you won't see what the person is wearing. No. The only thing that will keep you there is the will of God.
Wow.
If you get married to the will of God, you can't help but love them. You can't help but admire them. Because when you see them, you see Jesus. When you see them, you see God. You can boldly come before God and tell God, take care of this man. And God does it without thinking twice. The will of God supersedes everything. I hear women say, I'm looking for a godly man, a man who loves God, a man who prays, a man. If you find the will of God, if that man does not pray, as long as God say, this is my will, marry him and go to bed. Marry him and go to bed, because there is a greater force in charge of your relationship, in charge of your marriage. Marry him and go to bed. Now, if you don't heed God, because not all single ladies hear audibly, not all single ladies dream. I've seen people who say they've never dreamt in their life. I've seen people who've never seen vision. There must be a way God reaches out to you. There must be a way. And as long as you found out through that way, and that way must be in Jesus Christ too. I'm not talking about the other way. You understand? This way must be a way in Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Where God, the Holy Spirit, speaks to you. He tells you, this guy is the man I have made for you. When God gives you a man, he doesn't just see a husband or a romantic father. He sees a destiny builder. For a lady, the man is to mold you.
Oh, okay.
The man is to make you.
Okay.
That's why we're called the weaker vessel. Vessel. We are instruments. We are things to be carried. We are things to be pampered. But we are for use. If you keep a vessel there, it will just be there for. But the man's job is to make sure that the flower in that vessel,
like this
beautiful flower your husband got, is tender, is beautiful. Make sure that it's properly set. Because you are this vessel. Without this flower, you could even use it to fetch water without knowing
its purpose. Yeah.
You get? But that man, God finds a gardener. That's a beautiful thing in Genesis, where he said God planted a garden. He spoke everything. He called forth the land, the water, the everything. He planted the garden. That was laying down a principle for men. So I give you a flower vase. You take care of the flower inside. You make sure it grows. You make sure that this vase it fulfills its purpose. So if you're a woman and probably you found your purpose and you feel like you must marry a man that must fit into that purpose, you're looking for a man that will submit to you, and that's against the law.
Oh, okay.
The man coming into your life that you think that you found your purpose and you're booming. In fact, God is about to blow your mind. Because when God gives you the right man, you will know you've not started the journey. It's beyond the romantic aspect, which a lot of women are after. But when you finally find that right man, you'll be madly in love with him. You'll be madly in love with him because you see that love is beyond the physical things. It's destiny. You get to see how valuable you are to the society. He pushes you.
Yeah.
Many people wouldn't even know he's the one. Most times he can play behind the scene. But people see you're shining. People see you're becoming reasonable. You're becoming you're productive. It's the work of the man. And that man is the work of God. So when he's not doing his job properly, guess what? Yonggi Cho, who had the largest church in the world, his wife looked at him and said, "Oh, guy, you're sleeping too much. You don't read anymore. You don't need God speaks to you when you read. Oh, you're not reading anymore. You're sleeping all the time." Guess what? That man became the greatest man of God, the largest church all over the world. Why? The wife recognized that this man is no longer playing the role he's supposed to play. And if he's not able to take care of himself or allow God to fix him, how did he fix her?
Yeah, you're right.
So it's a two-way thing. When you find the right man, but not the right man, but, the right man of your own physical qualifications or what you want. The right man is the God man. The man you want God to choose for you. Or the woman you want God to choose for you. You help her, you harness her, you push her to be productive. She pushes you to be productive. What happens to your generation?
If God cannot fail you, that man will not fail
He
you.
cannot. Because when you're married to God's man, you're married to God.
Mm-hmm.
When you marry a woman that God said don't marry, you had all the signs. I'm not talking about those red flags that they are mentioning. Those ones I'm not talking, because sometimes they say the red flags is if he shouts at you. Don't. My husband can shout for Africa. Oh God.
I will rather walk with God in the dark than walk alone in the light. In as much as we want things to go away, but life is full of unexpected events, and sometimes it might work out the way we want it. Sometimes it might work out more